Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I am Ruth Norton with Ruth's Stamping Corner, and I am so excited to share this really cute fun fold card with you. This features a brand new bundle coming out in our online exclusives on March 4th, and I can't wait to share this one with you. It's kind of like a double card. So this one opens this way, and then we have this one that opens this way. It still fits in a standard size envelope, but it is just a really fun take on just a traditional card. We're using some gorgeous new DSPs, a fun new bundle, and let me show you that bundle that we're using. This is the Thankful Garden bundle. Now, not only do you get the gorgeous stamp set, the beautiful dies, you also get these masks or stencils. And I cannot wait to share with you how to use these stencils. We're going to use our blending brushes. There are 5 of them. I think there's 5. Yeah, there's 5 of them. But don't let that intimidate you. They are really easy to line up. They're really easy to use together. So let's jump in and get started. I've already prepped quite a bit of the products for you. I've done all the stamping because we're going to really focus on our the images that we're ink blending. So let me show you again the card that we're making. So there's 2 images on here. So it's this flower back here, which from the stamp set, it is this one right here. But I stamped that one twice. I stamped the whole flower because we're going to use that whole flower. And then we only needed this flower as well. So I just stamped that little piece here, and I just have some scrap pieces of white. So that's what we're going to ink blend. So let's jump in and get started. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is our masks and how to use them. Now they are all numbered. Now I'm not sure if these numbers will pick up. Yeah, I think you can see it. This one says number 1 on it, and they all have this little notch. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start with one piece at a time. We'll come back and do that one the exact same way. We're going to start with one at a time, and I'm going to grab some Post-it tape, and I am going to tape my piece down, my stamped piece down to start with. I'm using our glass mat, which you can also buy in our online store. And actually, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for the ink blending so you can see how this works. But the glass mat is really ideal for our ink blending. So you can get that in our online store. It comes with a little chamois to clean your glass mat and other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the image. Now this layer 1 is like the big area that's going to cover the entire flower. So I am just making sure that I am lining that up. And once I get that lined up, I'm actually going to tape it down as well, but just one piece of tape up here. And I have a dry erase marker right here. And what I'm going to do, and there's the little notch right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dry erase marker and I'm going to trace that little notch just like that. And so when we start lining things up again, we'll be able to just line it up with that little notch there. Okay, so my first layer, I am going to do Lemon Lolly, and we want a very soft layer here. We're not putting down a lot of ink. And actually, let me grab some scratch paper, just make sure that my yellow blending brush does not have a lot of darker colors on it. But we just want a little bit of ink here. We're not looking for dark coverage. We just want a little bit of coverage. I don't want my flowers to be stark white. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. And I'm actually going to kind of pounce off. I'm going to grab that piece of scratch paper again. I'm going to pounce off next to it just to make sure that any harsh lines are gone. And I'm going to very lightly just kind of go over those flowers. And the fun thing about this, if you're making a bunch of these, every single one of them will be a little bit different because your hand pressure might be different. They might be just a little bit different. All right. So that's all we're going to do with this one. Just a very light color. And when I lift it up, hopefully you can see the difference in that. So I'm going to set my mask aside. This will need to be cleaned when I'm done. And I'm going to grab number 2. Okay, right there. And I'm going to start by lining up that notch right where we had it. And it lines up pretty perfectly just by lining up that notch. And I'll put that tape back. And this time we're going to come in with some Daffodil Delight ink. Bring back that scratch paper. And I'm just going to kind of pounce that off, that darker ink color. And I'm going to go over this a little bit heavier handed, but not too heavy handed, because we are going to do a third layer And so I want to make sure that everything is kind of shining through. Make sure that you always kind of tap off on scratch paper before you go to your project, just so you don't end up with these harsh lines. All right, now I'm gonna just kind of lift this up, and I think that looks really good, just like that. Now we're gonna come back in with our Daffodil Delight, so I'm gonna leave that out. I'm gonna move mask number 3, or mask number 2, and we'll come in with number 3. I don't know if you can see that one, number 3. And again, I'm just gonna line up that notch over here, and these should line up pretty perfectly once you get that notch lined up, and they do. Okay, so I'm gonna set that down. And this one we're gonna go heavy-handed with this one because we want this yellow to be nice and bold and stark. And this is, there's not a lot of open spaces on this mask, so we're just adding lots of little highlights on here. So lift that up and it looks perfect. So you can see the darker areas, the lighter Daffodil Delight areas, and then the lemon lolly. All right, let me wipe that off. We're going to come back and do the same exact thing to our smaller flower in just a second. All right, so I still have my little notch here. I'm going to peel off my tape, and we'll come back in with number 4, this time number 4, and that's going to be the leaves. So where's my little notch? And you can use a dry erase marker on this. It'll wipe right off of your glass mat. If you're doing this on scrap paper, it'll, you could just use a pencil or a pen or something. Excuse me, there we go. All right, this time we're gonna go in with Garden Green. And I'm gonna grab my green blending brush, and this one is another one of those open layers. It's gonna cover the entire image. We are going to just go real light on this. Tap that off, and you can see it with the green, that harsh edge that you get. That's what you don't want, so make sure you tap that off before. So just a real light layer of this onto the paper. Now with ink blending, you can always add more ink, but you can't take it away. So just be careful about how much ink you're adding, because you can't take it away. Once it's on there, it's on there. All right, and then our final layer, we have number 5 here. Our final one, we're gonna line it up. That little notch is getting a little bit blurred, but that's okay. It'll still line up. And we'll tape that down. And then we'll go in with our Garden Green. We're gonna go a little bit heavier and just fill in those darker areas. Perfect. All right, I think that's great. Lovely. Look how pretty that is. So let's pull this off. Pull that Post-it tape off, and you can see just how stunning that flower is. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, we're done with our Garden Green. I'm gonna put this aside. We do not need that anymore, but we are gonna bring back out our yellows because we do still need to do this one flower. So I'm gonna take my Post-it tape again, and we'll just tape that down, and we'll bring back in those first 3 masks that we used. And this time we are only, my masks are all mixed up. This time we are only doing this one flower. So I'm only going to be focused on making sure that that one flower is lined up. And I'm not going to worry about doing the little notch here because we're not doing all 5 layers. So I think I can easily just line up the little flower. So we're going to bring back in Lemon Lolly. I'm going to do a quick little, a light layer of this. Now you can use one ink. You can use Daffodil Delight for the whole thing if you wanted. You just go really light on the first layer, a little bit heavier on the second layer, and heavier on the third layer. You will be building up that color as you go. So even if you keep the same pressure, you're still going to build up that color. All right, number 2, I'm going to have ink all over my hands. All right, number 2, we're going to line up just this one flower here. And the masks do line up pretty easily. We've had masks in the past that have been a little bit tricky. You're like, well, how do they go? Which way do they go? These line up pretty easily. All right, perfect. And then number 3, I'm gonna line that up. We'll use that Post-it tape. Just like that. Okay, got it. This one will go a little bit heavier. Oops, kind of shifted. Let's see if we can line it all back up. Okay. I'm gonna just hold it in place nice and tight here. Okay, I think that's good. We are done with our masks. We're done with our blending brushes. So I'm gonna move all of this out of the way. Move my ink out of the way. I'm going to just, you can get a baby wipe, or I'm just gonna use my little Simply Chamois just to wipe off that dry erase marker so that doesn't transfer onto our project. And I'll take all this Post-it tape off. All right, we are ready. We're gonna do some die cutting now. So we only have these 2 pieces. So let me grab some dies. This big die, and then we have this little die, which will cut out just that one flower. So I really love how this die set was designed to just cut out that little flower. All right, I'm gonna use Post-it tape to hold this down. You can use washi tape or whatever you have. This one gets a little bit tricky to line up, but just keep rotating it, you'll get it. Okay, let's grab that cut and emboss machine, and we are going to die cut these. Let me zoom out just a tad so that the machine is not right all over you. It still will take up a fair amount of the camera, but okay. So I have platform, and then I have number 1. And so the platform is number 1, the die adapter is number 2, and then I have 2 number 3 plates. All right, and these will fold right up. Move this out of the way, and we have our pieces ready to go. Move those out of the way. Beautiful, right? And the way we've added color was just so stunning. Now you can also color these with your markers if you want. That's totally fine too. However you want to add color to these, you can absolutely do that. All right, so we have our flowers. I have already pre-stamped the greetings, and these are from that same stamp set. So I have a banner that is die cut with the hearts and hugs dies, and then I just have another piece of basic white that I cut. This little label is from the Nested Essentials dies, and I ran it through a brand new embossing folder. This is the corrugated embossing folder, so it's supposed to look like corrugated cardboard, which is just so fun. And then I've also die cut a couple of leaves from those dies. So I have 2 sets of these. If I can pick up the second one. I have 2 sets of these leaves from the dies. Those are in garden green. All right, let's start with our card assembly before we get to all our little pieces. So let's start with the bottom piece, the garden green piece. This piece is 6.5 by 5.5, and on the 6.5 inch side, I scored it at 3 1/4, just right in half. And this will be the inside part of our card. So I have a piece of white that goes on the inside, and this piece is 3 by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of DSP that's going to go on the outside, and that is the same size, 3 by 5 1/4. And that DSP is from the brand new DSP pack. This is the Lovely Garden. This coordinates with this whole suite of products. So you're going to get some gorgeous DSPs in this set. I've already used quite a few of them. They are stunning. Some of the backs have black and white patterns. So just a really stunning package of DSP. You're definitely going to want to get it if you love this bundle. All right, let's get these glued down. So our white piece is going to go on the inside. And I did stamp the corners of the white piece with the little leaf stamp set in there, just in garden green, just to bring a little bit of fanciness to the inside. That's going to go right on the inside. And then we have our piece of DSP. Oh, look at those beautiful black and white stripes. Gorgeous. And this one's going to go right on the outside. Stunning. All those same colors. We have garden green, lemon lolly, daffodil delight. They're all in there. All right, and then we have a piece of daffodil delight, and this is 3.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 on the long side. And this one, we are just going to put this piece of DSP on the front. Now look at how stunning this side is. It hurts to put that side down, but we want that just plain black and white side, kind of like a sketchbook, kind of like a little plaid sketchbook. It's very, very fun. All right. Now we're going to stick these 2 together. These are going to get glued together just like this. So I'm going to kind of line them up where I want them to be. Kind of want the yellow just center top to bottom. And everything's going to get glued in. So then I'll flip it over. And I will put adhesive on the back of this green one. And by having it kind of lined up this way, I'm not going to go too far. Because if you go too far past here, the adhesive will show. So we just want to adhere the backs of those. So they are only adhered on the back. So you can still open both of those front flaps. And then they're attached on the back. Adorable, right? All right, let's work on the inside piece first. Okay, so we have our little corrugated lemon lolly piece here. And let me grab some dimensionals. Have them buried over here. I'm going to put these on with just a couple dimensionals. We're really going to pop up everything else on this card. This is going to go right in the middle. You want to make sure that you're not going like above where that lemon lolly card front will be, because you want this to be a little hidden surprise in here. And then we're going to put the greeting on with dimensionals as well. And I'm going to put these directly onto my lemon lolly layer because this is going to hang off the edge just a little bit, and I don't want any of that adhesive to be exposed behind there. So really simple, cute, right? All right, let's go ahead and close this up. We're going to work on the front now. I'm going to put my whole flower piece on, the one with the stem. And I'm going to put some dimensionals, and I'm going to kind of focus those dimensionals in the center because we are going to be tucking those die cut leaves in. We're just going to kind of put this on just like that. And then I'll grab another dimensional. I'm going to just stick it on there. That's going to be for our second flower that we die cut. That's just going to go right on there, just like that. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and stick our little leaves on. I'm going to use some liquid glue for this, and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive. A glue dot would work really well too. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive just down on the bottom of the stem, and we're going to just kind of tuck this in just like that. Just make sure it doesn't go past the top of that card, and we're going to tuck this one in down below. And just making sure that it doesn't go beyond the borders of the card. So I'm just gonna lift this up and tuck it in. So it can go past the yellow, but you just gotta kind of imagine the rest of the card goes this way and you can't go past those areas. All right, we're almost done. I have a linen thread bow that I have already tied. So I'm just gonna peel that off my glue dots, and I'm gonna stick that behind the greeting under the "You Made a Difference" side. And we're going to put a little bit of adhesive on the right side of the greeting, and then I will use a dimensional. We're just going to further secure that little bow, and this will go right across the bottom of the flower there. Gorgeous. Right. Oh, so pretty. All right, we have just one more finishing touch that we're going to add. I have some of the brass butterflies here. These are available in the online store. We've had these for a while, and I love pulling these out when I use a really floral, kind of feminine stamp set, which I think this one is. And I'm just going to put 2 of them just on the side over here. And that's it. That completes this really cute kind of double fold card, double front card. I don't know what you call this. It's such a fun card though. And I hope you guys love this one. Remember, you can purchase this Thankful Garden bundle in my online store when online exclusives launch on March 4th. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. I love putting out fun videos like this with fun techniques and fun folds and stuff like this for you guys. So if you love this, please make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you never miss a video. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.